We're in the village of Westley, which is just outside Bury St Edmunds, just to the west of Bury St Edmunds. Only about a mile, or less than that, maybe. And this is an interesting church. It's St Mary's. And from what I understand, it was the first concrete church built in Britain. I think it was built about 1863. A couple of other interesting things about the church. I hesitate to say facts because I'm not certain how factual they really are. But the tower, apparently, in 1960, the top of it, I don't know how much of it, I guess from that, probably just above that round window, there's a line, and I think that all that top bit, I think it had to be removed. Anyway, the top of the tower had to be removed, and they replaced it with that. So, what it was actually like before 1960, I'm not too certain. The church is rendered over the concrete and painted. The other thing that sort of, maybe it's just an urban myth, but the church was built for one of the Marquesses of Bristol, who lived in Ickworth House, which is not far from here. He wanted a church, a lovely church to look at when he was having his breakfast in the morning from the window of his house, and this church was built for that reason. But it's certainly lovely. Let's go and have a look. The church is on a side of a road which originally would have been a little lane, but now is a bit of a bypass around Bury St Edmunds. And here we are, here's the entrance. Ah, the inevitable wheelie bin. There's always a wheelie bin now. Oops, got that. Let's have a look at the church notice board, see what it has to say. Ah, no smoking. That's always good to know. And then we got St Mary's Church, Westley. Now, it's a small church, but it's very imposing because it's very clean and sharp-edged, and it's just smooth. That's because it was concrete. And then it was rendered, and the rendering has been marked up to look like blockwork. Churchyard is a reasonable size for a small country church. It's not large.
Marion, daughter of Walton Borough, December 1846.
That's a lovely headstone though. Just look at that. It's really lovely. Little access point there. A nice window. Be interesting to see what the church was like before the tower was changed, and obviously there would be photographs around. It's rather nice here. You've got crosses falling in on themselves and a big monument. We'll have a look, see what we can see on that. So, what have we got here? Harriet Williams, 1845, is that? She must have been somebody fairly important, or fairly wealthy, or maybe it's a family grave. Sweet little churchyard. On the tower is to the side of the building, and as I assume, as this was built in the middle of the 19th century, then it was designed and built like this. So unlike some of the churches we've been seeing, it hasn't been added to over the years. houses behind the churchyard here, which originally this would have been on its own. They've got a pleasant view of the church. Back door there. So we've got a yew tree on every corner of the churchyard. So this church was very much designed and created in this plot about 150 years ago. So a lot of the headstones are in the front of the church, where they are next to the road, or would have been the lane, because they certainly would have been a lane when the church was built. And over in that direction is Ickworth House, where the Marquis of Bristol lived, and he would have been able to see this church here up on the hill from the house. Unfortunately, we can't look in the church. It is locked. Sad, really. It would have been a nice church to have seen, because of the fact that its age, and it was built in more modern times in a village. So we have to leave St Mary's of Westley and not have the opportunity of commenting on the interior, but we wish it well.
This is William Mingay, who died in July 1903, aged 72 years. And the other one is Mary Ann, the beloved wife of William Mingay, who died in June 1914, aged 87 years.
And they've been pulled together, so they're actually cuddling up to each other. Nice looking church. Shame we couldn't have seen the interior.